Hi everyone, I'm bringing you a quick little video on a very hot topic that's hitting YouTube and the Battlefield community right now. So, as you probably have heard, there's been many allegations of a new DLC coming out centered around Battlefield 3 maps, or as I'm calling it, like a Second Assault Chapter 2. And so, the reason I'm posting this today is because it's 12/8, which is the day before Battlefest ends, which, as many of you probably agree, really doesn't mean anything. But if you look at tweets by Tiger, or however you say it, David Serland, producer at Dice LA, also a huge community figure in Battlefield, has said that there's something coming at the end of Battlefest. Now, this combined with the fact that they are allegedly all going back, all as in why did I close that out? All as in their headquarters, like DICE and just, the people that work there, have been going back to Battlefield 3. You wouldn't really explicitly state that for just no reason. I mean, maybe you do this, but maybe you don't go back and just hey, Battlefield 3, I'm going back to this for reasons that can't be stated right now. You don't do that. You don't do that for no reason, is what I'm saying. You don't just hint at stuff and not follow through with it, if you understand what I'm saying. Point is, there's a reason that they said that and are going back to it. There has to be. I mean, unless they're all doing it for fun, which is heavily unlikely, even though Battlefield 3 is a very fun game regardless. There has to be a reason no matter what. So, it has, these two facts combined have been, and this here, this calendar, heavily extended past the release of Final Stand. There's a reason to believe that there's more DLC coming out. So what I expect to hear tomorrow from this quote-unquote announcement is more DLC, first off, and probably the release, or the upcoming release, of Second Assault Chapter 2, is what I'm calling it. Which, to me, what I would like to see is Grand Bazaar, maybe Cyan Crossing, even though I wasn't the greatest fan of it, and no Shark Canals, and maybe a fourth map if they decide to include it, Karg Island, something cool like that, and of course the guns, the AN-94, the M27 IAR or infantry assault rifle, the G53. I would love to see the SVU-A or the VSS as just a freaking haywire sniper rifle that belongs to the recon class or something cool like that. I mean, I think that would be wicked, and a fifth weapon if at all possible. So, I mean, that's just what I would like to see. It probably isn't likely, but if so, I don't know, it feels heavily likely that it will happen, but then again, I could be just chasing shadows at midnight. But there's heavy reason to believe that if there's not going to be Second Assault Chapter 2, there will at least be more DLC. Why? Well, if you take a look at the calendar before this mess happened in the beginning, all DLC was regularly released at 3 months. And between now and the release of Battlefield Hardline, there's at least 3 months, no matter how you look at it. Maybe from the beginning of December to March, or the beginning of whenever. Point is, 3 months in at least. So, there's time to fill. So, what would we, do in this 3 to 4 month period? That's a lot of time to fill, and you might lose interest in Battlefield 4. You might pick up another game, and of course, if you're like the proper-minded individual at a headquarters, you don't want them to put down your game. So you want them to stay entertained. So what do? You release DLC. And also, with the including Hardline, there's also a lot of time to fill in between now and the time of release of Battlefield 5 in probably around October 2016. That's 2 years. Well, actually, that's a little less than 2 years, but you get my idea. That's a long time away. You can't expect people to play Battlefield 4 for 2 years, with just Final Stand and stuff. Unless the game were moddable, like Battlefield 2, which still holds up really well, even with mods and stuff like that, then you really can't expect people to play your game for that long. I mean, I could be wrong, because Battlefield 3 is holding up surprisingly well. There's still a ton of servers live, and I would be playing it myself too if I had Xbox Live membership and it were hooked up and stuff, and stuff like that. And don't get all mad at me for the console stuff. I have all 3 consoles, PS3 and Xbox 360 and this, so don't get all butthurt. Anyways, so yeah, point being, there's just a lot of time to fill. So there has to be more DLC for this game. And like I said, they said that they won't stop support for this game, which could either mean more DLC, or I'm just assuming stuff, and that just means that they're still running servers. But the game is already kind of suffering from a slightly low player amount, at least from what I have been able to tell, to Battlefield 3 when it released. So really, they need to do something in between this time and Battlefield 5, or else they're going to lose players on this, and they might stop supporting it. So there has to be more DLC. There just has to be. There could be Second Assault Chapter 2, the starting up of the, 2142 factions, stuff like that. Something sweet that we don't even know about. It's all up in the open, and if you look at this game, the potential for it is so high. You can just you can think of so many things to do with this game, and if they don't do anything with it, then that's a massive waste of creative thinking and whatever you want to call it. So in my opinion, there has to be more DLC. There just has to. They wouldn't hint at all this stuff, and they wouldn't extend the calendar. They wouldn't say that they're not gonna. They wouldn't say that they're gonna support the game well into 2016 or whatever. They wouldn't say that for no reason. I'm just saying this all has to be justified by something. So, what do you guys think? Do you think there will be more DLC? And if so, what do you want to see in it? And maybe you think that it's all just smoke and mirrors. It's nothing to be, excited about. It's nothing to, think about heavily. What do you guys think? I would love to hear your stuff and get a conversation going, because, I think it's really fun. And it's just a good way to, talk to people. So, if you can, leave a comment below and just think about what you might want, or if it's nothing or whatever. Just leave it below. I would love to hear your opinion. So, with that, I will bid you goodbye, and I will probably report on what these guys say on Twitter tomorrow, if anything. If it's delayed, then I will report as it comes. Okay, guys, well, I've yammered on long enough. I will see you guys in the next one.